Hey there, friends. Welcome to this episode of the Legal Paige podcast. Today's episode, I am talking all about the 3 mistakes you might be making as an online business owner. Now, when I was starting out as a biz owner, I felt like I really had no one in my corner, that I was like running around with a chicken with my head cut off, trying to do all the things that people told me to do in courses that I bought and online communities that I was a part of. But I just kept making mistakes after mistakes. And while I agree that you do need to have failures in order to have successes, I am here because I love giving business tips since I've been in business for the past 8 years as a photographer and now lawyer and legal educator. I've ran 3 very successful online businesses, and I want to share all of my best nuggets of wisdom with you, including some of the big mistakes that I see a lot of other people doing that I did back in the day too. So I want to dive into the 3 big things that I wish someone more experienced and wiser would have put in my head as the mistakes I should steer away from, or at least acknowledge exist that I am doing as the CEO of my business. So those 3 things are pricing emotionally, thinking social media is everything, and forgetting about the legal stuff. So let's get into this episode, Legal Pagers. You're listening to the Legal Paige podcast, where we chat about life and business with a legal twist. I'm Paige, attorney and photographer helping online businesses and creatives tackle their business dreams without breaking out in hives. No more legal mumbo jumbo. This podcast features simple, bite-sized advice that'll have you legally legit in no time. Are you ready? Let's get started. As a reminder, before we get into this episode, I am legally obligated to give my disclaimer. So I am an attorney, but I am not your attorney. All legal information I talk about on this episode is intended for the masses and a large variety of different businesses. I am only your attorney when you hire me and we sign an engagement letter for me to work specifically on your legal issues. Please feel free to seek out another attorney in your hometown if you need specific legal advice or contact me for more information. Alrighty, here's the episode, friends. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. So as I mentioned in our intro, I'm talking about the top 3 mistakes that you might be making as an online business owner, which is totally okay. We are all human and we make mistakes from time to time. And let's be honest here, as business owners, we are constantly making mistakes. We have failures. Those failures equal successes. And one of the things that we need to acknowledge and really take note of as CEOs of our business is that we do make mistakes, and that's okay. But sometimes you need someone else, like a third party, to point out the mistakes you're making. And I'm just trying to do this in a very chill, conversational way to be like, okay, this is what I see a lot of the online business owner world doing. Often that is a mistake. And if you can know this sooner rather than later, you're going to be more successful in the long run, right? Part of stepping into your role as a biz owner is recognizing that you're making mistakes and that something needs to change. And I'm here to help you find that solution to these mistakes. Okay, so let's just start out with mistake number 1 that you might be making as an online business owner. Drum roll, please. Not putting pricing first. Here's the thing, you guys. If you're listening, you had a passion or a hobby, or you had this like deep-rooted desire in your stomach to become an entrepreneur, okay? That's great. But one of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs facing is they still are kind of like hobbyists, right? We're not in the business of hobbying anymore. This is a freaking business you created and it needs to generate a profit. Unless you're running a non-for-profit corporation, like you are a for-profit business. So stop pricing emotionally. And this happens all the time. You're basing it off of your relationship with your potential customer or client. You're giving like someone a friend and family discount. You're just going online and you're researching all of your photographers in your area. And then you just like stamp on a $1,500 price tag and you're like, oh yeah, other photographers are doing that. That makes sense. Or I want to be lower than every other photographer because I want people to come to me. That seems good. That's pricing emotionally. Don't do that. Stop just randomly putting that price tag on a wedding photography package without knowing exactly why that number is what it is. Huge, huge mistake for people is the dollars, right? You think, getting $500 as a retainer or $1,500 as a retainer is so much money. Oh my gosh, I just made so much money. But then you start cranking your actual hours into that whole service that you're offering your client for, say, $2,000, right? You took $1,000 retainer. Well, you're not going to get paid the extra $1,000 until you actually perform your services. And then how many hours goes into all of that from start to finish, from booking your client to inquiring, to discovery calls, to setting up your contracts, to setting out your contracts, to getting getting them the welcome email, to getting them like a wedding gift guide or a welcome gift, and then getting them, tips and tricks and helping them throughout the planning process. And then you go photograph their wedding and that takes a whole day. And then you're paying a second shooter and you've got all of this equipment and gear and overhead and memory cards. And maybe you are like putting together styling boards and oh my God. And then afterward, you have to edit. It's going to take hours. Then you have to export. Then you have to deliver it to your customers. Then you have to listen to their feedback. Okay. That is what I mean by clock those hours. Get a pen and paper and figure out all of the hours you put into the entirety of the services you're providing to your client for that specific package or that specific price. And once you get those numbers tallied, you're going to be like, okay, that's actually 60 to 70 hours of my work. Then actually figure out how much you want to get paid for that and times it by that amount. If it's $15 an hour, if it's $28 an hour, if it's $25 an hour, make a wage. Please make a living wage. You left your W-2 job or you're not in the workforce anymore because you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to make more money, right? And you want to do it in less time and you want to have more flexibility. That's never going to happen if you price emotionally because you're never going to have enough money to do it. You're constantly chasing that next dollar. So make sure, please put pricing first. Always go back to the drawing board. Think about your packages. Think about your offerings. What is your overhead costs? All of those factors go into your pricing structure. So that is mistake number 1, not putting pricing first and pricing emotionally. Please don't do that. Okay, are you ready? Mistake number 2 is thinking social media is the be all end all of your marketing success. What this means when it comes to your marketing is really think about how you're marketing yourself. Are you really only on social media? Do you just have kind of you threw spaghetti up at the wall and you were like, okay, this template works for my website and I'm just going to go with that. Are you actually diversifying your marketing and are you on multiple platforms? So having a pretty feed and having people on social media and vanity metrics and how many followers you have is all great and dandy. And it's good for bringing in clients, but it's only going to do so much for bringing in ideal clients that actually book you, right? ROI here. I'm always looking at what is my end goal? My end goal is I am driven by my passion as a business owner to do X, but I still am trying to make money doing X. So money and your pricing, of course, is first, and then marketing so that people actually do a cha-ching exchange with you is important too. Don't just leave that to social media. What about your website? What about your SEO on your website? Do you have an opt-in to help grow your email list of potential customers or clients? So while we here at the Legal Paige and, my photography business for that matter, when I was running a very successful photography business, I started on Instagram. I get that. I did it too. I made the mistake of thinking that Instagram was everything. And I put so many freaking hours into Instagram and my feed and the caption and the call to action and a catchy intro. And then I was like, I gotta be on stories all the time. And then I quickly joined Facebook because I was like, oh, okay, I need a Facebook business page. Got it. And I threw up a website. But have you actually looked at diversifying that even further? Does your website and SEO actually bring in a ton of leads and potential customers? Like seriously, you guys, go look at Google Analytics. If you're not on Google Analytics, go do that right now. Google My Business, get on Google Analytics because analytics don't lie. You can actually see the numbers and where people are hitting your website from. And then how are they going to your contact form? Where are those people coming from? Are they actually coming from Instagram? Are they actually coming from Facebook? Or are they coming from organic searching or direct leads like word of mouth? People are just typing in, right? Like PaigeMariePhotography.com or thelegalpage.com. That is why this is a huge mistake for people. They're like, okay, I got to get on Instagram, I got to get on Facebook, and I got to put up some type of website. I want you to be a number-driven business owner. Hey, TLP fam. So if you're tuning into this episode and you're wanting to ensure you're legally legit moving forward into 2021, because let's freaking face it, who knows what 2021 is going to look like after the year we've had in 2020. Don't worry, the Legal Paige has got you. We are having our biggest sale of the year over Black Friday week, and I don't want you to miss out. And what that means is I need you to become what's called an exclusive TLP Insider today. And you will get all of the information on a really, really big discount just for my TLP community. So if you join now, you're going to get all of the sneak peeks and exclusive offers before anyone else, before we launch it to the public. So go to TLPinsider.com to sign up now. Again, that's TLPinsider.com. Can't wait, my friend. Now, I'm integrating all kinds of marketing channels and multiple platforms into my business. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, I have Pinterest, I have LinkedIn. Why? Because listeners will go to, they really want to go and listen to podcasts, but people who want quick 3 to 5 minute videos that are entertaining are going to go to YouTube. And people who are scrolling Pinterest or type in things on Pinterest are going to go to Pinterest. You have to diversify your marketing and you've got to be on various channels. You also need to really understand that what you do as a consumer is what other people are going to do to find you. If you were going to go look for a photographer in your area, where would you start? Would you really start on Instagram? Probably not, right? Unless you've followed that person for a while, you've gained a lot of know, like, and trust, and you love their photography. Or if you're just starting out, and you have to think about this from a third-party perspective of people who aren't in our industry. Where are they going? They're going to Google, you guys. They're going to Google. They're asking Siri on their phone. All of that is organic searching. So you need to put way, way more effort into your SEO and marketing that way. Now you're probably thinking, whoa, Paige, stop there. How am I going to have all of this freaking time that you're talking about to create that much content to go on each platform? Please don't let that fear hold you back. And why? Because, like I said, viewers go to each platform for a different reason. So what you create on one platform, you can repurpose and duplicate and use that on another and slightly tailor it to that specific platform. So we retailer blog posts and podcasts and YouTube videos and opt-ins and posting actual captions to our Instagram posts and even Instagram stories. You guys, we repurpose the crap out of our content. That way, you're not coming up with new ideas for each platform, but you're just tweaking it so the viewers over on YouTube, let's say, for example, are getting exactly what they want to see from your content in a bite-sized format with really engaging graphics. Pinterest doesn't need that, right? It needs one graphic and a really interesting title, and then it just needs a CTA. And podcasts, for example, you just want to talk. You can repurpose it and you can be yourself and just chat. So stop thinking Instagram is everything. And also, if I may just add one more little thing as I'm thinking about it here, recording this episode regarding Instagram, stop consuming so much on Instagram and start doing business on Instagram. I heard this at a conference I was at and I was like, oh my gosh, I consume so much. Seriously, just go to your phone settings and see how much time you're actually on social media. Because I would venture a guess that 80-90% of that is for consuming the platform, consuming Instagram, not for actual business purposes. If you are limiting your time on the Instagram and like Facebook, all of those platforms, and you are driven by business focused practices on those social media platforms, then you are going to see change as well. So social media isn't the be all end all of your marketing. Make sure it's super, super tailored to doing business on social media, and try your hardest to diversify other digital marketing channels. And finally, last but not least, mistake number 3 you may be making as an online business owner is not having legit contracts. I'm sure you were probably like, oh, the Legal Paige is definitely going to say something legal as a mistake we're making. Well, yes, I wouldn't be the Legal Paige if we didn't talk about legal stuff, and especially contracts, because I oftentimes see business owners making that one, mistake with a contract, and it just goes ape shit. Like, it goes so wrong so fast and they can't see it coming, right? It's these what if situations that we're willing to shove under the rug for another day. And you can't see it. You can't foresee a sticky situation happening. You can't foresee this glorious client that's booking you that would never in a million years hurt you. And then bam, they like slap you across the face. Okay, that is what I'm here to protect you from. You probably have like a one main client service agreement, okay? But I want you to have such a legitimate main client service agreement, and then other legal tools in your legal toolkit to protect you and your business. There are contracts that are needed for everything: website terms and conditions, privacy policies, second shooters, independent contractors, employees, client agreements, trade of service agreements, website designer agreements. I mean, I could literally go on and on and on. There's so many different avenues for you to need a contract, and it's important to make sure everything is laid out in writing and not just, okay, sounds good via email and like laying things out. There will always be gray areas when it comes to questions or expectations from clients, people you work with, people you collaborate with. So it's super important to put that all in the 4 corners of an actual document that will be your contract, and you will get those signed by the parties that are agreeing to do XYZ. And then I want you to update these contracts periodically and make sure that whatever has happened in the past, or if like a tiny hiccup occurred, that you are tying up all those loose ends, modifying and amending your contract so that that doesn't happen in future situations, whether that's with clients or whether that's with people you work with, contractors, virtual assistants, you name it. And then another mistake kind of on this back end legal side is just, how are you sending your contracts out? You're going to want to make sure that when you are sending it out electronically, that it's either through a like actual certified CRM system or within a PDF that's like fillable, and that you can have the date stamp from when they signed. Now, I could go on and on here, and you guys know this. There's tons of other podcast episodes through the Legal Paige podcast that go over having legit contracts and what you need to do to ensure that you have all of the legal contracts, forms, short documents in your legal toolkit to ensure that you are continually being a legit business owner. My main point to get across here is a mistake you're probably making is you think one contract is going to solve everything, and just getting that client service agreement in the Legal Paige template contract shop is like the best way to go, and then you never have to touch it again. Wrong. That's a mistake. Continually look at the contract. It is a living document. It's ever changing. And then also, what other contracts do I need? Who am I working with? How am I doing things? Is this like something that really needs to be in an actual contract that we both sign and agree to, so that if something were to happen, we can come back to the actual written document and have an answer. So it's not a he said, she said situation. Okay, now this is just a bonus point, and I wanted to throw it in here because it's so dang valuable and I couldn't help but share. And I know I said there's 3 mistakes you're making likely as an online business owner, but this is probably a 4th one, and it's a big one. Are you not filling up your own cup? Are you forgetting to take time for you? So if you've followed me for a while, you know I am all about self-care. I am all about taking time for you. And I'm all about ensuring that you are still doing things in your personal life that you love. If you are not filling your own cup as an entrepreneur, you're going to have a failed business. I can just tell you that now. You absolutely cannot be the best business owner and CEO you need to be if you are having massive issues doing anything for yourself. As you grow your online business as well, you are going to continually have time sucks. I call it time famine. As entrepreneurs, you're never going to have enough time in the day to get things done. That's okay. But the one thing I will say is if you are not doing 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 things for yourself each and every day, having routines, going to work out, going to dinner with a friend, getting a cup of coffee once a week with your family member, playing a game, Netflixing for 30 minutes every night. I don't care what it is, but I fully believe and know that there is a time when duty calls as a business owner, and then there's also a time when you have to live life and enjoy what you have around you. If COVID has taught us anything in 2020, it's that life is precious and we cannot keep just hustling all the time. You guys, there's a place for hustle, but there's also a place for rest and a place for you to fill your own cup. Do you want to purchase some contracts and clauses to protect your business at a fraction of the regular price? I mean, who doesn't love a good deal, right? Good news, I've got you covered. Over the week of Black Friday this year, the Legal Paige is offering its lowest prices of the season. I'm talking over 40%, maybe even over 45%, maybe even 47%. That's right, you heard me right, but you've got to be a TLP Insider to get the scoop. You'll get the biggest discounts than what we release to the regular public. Just make sure to head to TLPinsider.com to sign up now. Again, that's TLP, as in the Legal Paige, Insider.com. One of my favorite things to do, you guys, is take my dog for just a walk. If I am stressed out and I'm like, okay, what can I do right now that's super simple where I don't have to think about it, it's brainless, and it's taking time for me and it's filling my cup, I get my dog, who I just love looking at. She's just so cute. I can't help it. And I just walk around the block, even if that's for 5-10 minutes, right? I'm filling my cup up before I come back and work more. I also love going to Orange Theory Fitness because you have to sign up. I think their business model is so genius where you get fined or they take a credit away from you if you don't cancel your class within a 24-hour period or 8-hour period. And so I'm oftentimes stuck being like, oh my God, I absolutely have to go. And guess what? By the end of that 45-minute or hour workout class, my cup is so filled and I come back with fresh eyes and a fresh brain to all of the projects that I wanted to work on as a CEO and online business owner. So take care of your health. Take time off. Don't forget to have vacations. Jeez, right? You left the real W-2 working world because you wanted to be your own boss. You wanted flexibility. You wanted to have more time off. Take time off. Please don't forget about vacation time and just fill your cup. It's going to make you a better online business owner. Okay, so I could talk all day about pricing, marketing, contracts, self-care, but those are the top biggest mistakes that you may be making as an online entrepreneur. And I just wanted to flesh those out in this podcast episode. Now, please don't feel bad if you're making some of these mistakes. 1, all, 2, I am guilty of making these all the time. But we are human, and that's just part of our growth as business owners. We're going to make mistakes. We need to see those mistakes. We need to have this, big sister Paige coming at you being like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Change your frame of mind. Or Have you taken any personal time in the past 48 hours? No. Go do it now and then come back to your project. So I hope you took something away from today's episode, whether that's business related or a little bit legal related that I talked about, and then implement that this week into your business. Try to just move away from those mistakes a little bit. I promise you will see a big change in your business. Until next week, my friends, I hope you have a good one. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Legal Paige podcast. See, I told you being legally legit isn't so scary. Be sure to visit thelegalpaige.com for all show notes. And it would be super awesome if you could head over to iTunes and leave a review. Last but not least, don't forget to join my free Facebook group for unlimited legal and biz Q&A. Chat soon, Legal Pagers.